Get the comfy chair!
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Old. Your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so we are doing like a year roundup, a comfy chair for the year. We're just talking about the good and the bad and the odd. No, I haven't got much on mine, to be honest, of the year. Just things we thought were really stand out or terrible, maybe. But we'll just see how we go. Okay, I think we could start with movies, maybe, and I think you've probably got more than me, so why don't you start this one?
Okay, so my first good movie is something. A lot of these are stuff we have talked about on previous comfy chairs.
Yeah.
So as it's a year summary, so my first good movie is Scream. I watched that for the first time, and I think it's probably one of the better slasher films I've watched. Like, I really enjoyed
undoubtedly.
that.
Yeah. Halloween's probably the best, I'd say. I don't know. It's a personal opinion. But Scream is up there, but both in quality and entertainment value, and it delivers, doesn't it? It just delivers.
It's the fact that at points it starts to call its own shots. Like, it's essentially just doing trick shots of horror movie tropes. Whereas, like, they do the whole, like, breakdown of, like, how the scene goes. Like, oh, you gotta watch out. He'll always be right behind you. And Ghostface is walking around in the background of the scene. That sort of thing.
Yes. You were talking about maybe getting to the sequels. Did you get to them yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, you got a lot ahead of you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's, like, 7 or so now, I think.
Is there? Oh, my goodness. I know there's one coming soon. I've not got any opinion on that, one way or the other. But I know there's one coming soon. Nice pick. Yeah, I mean, Scream is, if you've come into it first time, that's an excellent one to come to for the first time. Yeah, really, really like Scream. Matthew Lillard's always good, though.
Matthew Lillard's excellent in that film.
Yeah. Because isn't he getting some shit from Quentin Tarantino lately about being a bad actor? And it's like, piss off,
that's
Quentin.
Paul Dano.
Oh, no, I think it was Matthew Lillard, too. As well. Paul Dano's the more famous one. Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, he might make good films. He's clearly not a good person.
It's I don't know why he feels the need to put other people down, to be honest. Talk about the stuff you like, not the stuff you don't like, man. It's easy. Mind you, we're going to be doing badly. Okay, so you're talking about not a this year one. I'm going to talk about a not a this year one as well as a great movie rewatch, and it's kind of timely. This one, rewatched The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Princess Bride. Oh my goodness, that is just such a good film, right? We did cover it, didn't we?
We did recover it.
Oh man, I'm glad we did cover it. Without the sadness that's currently around it, unfortunately about Rob Reiner. Man, that guy had the most spectacular. Him and John Carpenter have got spectacular runs of movies, but Rob Reiner's is way more diverse. I mean, John Carpenter's a great director, but it's in a very similar wheelhouse, his run, whereas Rob Reiner's all over the place, comedies, dramas, really profound drama. Stand By Me, for example.
Yeah,
Two Good Men. Princess Bride, absolutely rocks. It's such a good film. Probably one of my favourite watches of the year. Rewatch, certainly my favourite rewatch. Though Flash Gordon gets close, I have to say. And there's another one. I didn't mention Flash Gordon in this list, but there's another one. There's a rewatch that I'm going to come to in a bit. There's also top tier, absolutely top tier. Full wheelhouse, good, bad, and odd as well.
Okay.
We've got that to come. Princess Bride, spectacular film.
Okay, so next on my list is Superman. The James Gunn Superman movie. That's such a good film. Like, I'm so glad.
Agree.
I feel like they finally did a Superman right in the current age of films.
I have to say, when I see the Snyder ones, and I don't watch them very often, it's like, it feels like they're made by, Kevin Smith did that bit about where he was writing a Superman script, and the producer was saying, Superman's full of hate, and
he's a cold-blooded killer.
And it's like, but it's Superman. I feel like that. I feel like Kevin Smith in that situation watching Snyder Superman cuts. Though I do like his most recent Justice League cut. I thought that was a great cut. However, the Superman isn't good. The rest of it's good. So Superman's never been served well by that whole thing. It's just awful. But yeah, man, back to being a big Boy Scout. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I
I'm
want.
astounded the amount of people that complain about it. It's like, oh, Superman,
Me
he's
too.
trying to save people. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Yeah, it's so
It's
weird.
like, pick up a Superman comic that's not from the 90s. But yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, even the 90s ones, I mean, he's
yeah,
still a good guy in a lot of it. So, he's that guy, not the Snyder
yeah,
guy. He's not the moody, annoyed. I don't know. It's almost like an alternate universe kind of super.
yeah.
It's really odd. It's really odd.
And to be frank, I'm so sick of evil Superman in media. Like
Yes, don't need it.
Homelander, like
Oh, I like Homelander
no,
actually.
it's just continuously people going like that. Oh, if real people had superpowers, they'd be evil. It's like, wow, that's kind of a reflection on you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a dark way to look at things.
yeah,
There are definitely some people
it's
that,
like,
if they were
nah,
Superman, be awful, but there's
yeah,
quite a lot of people with those powers who'd be doing great things. So
yeah,
yeah, don't buy any of that nonsense.
yeah,
Yeah, great choice. Just great film. Use of crypto had me a little nervous with the trailer. Totally on board for the film.
yeah,
Totally. And I just feel it hit so many good beats. It was just fun, and all the stuff in the background was fun. And I think with further rewatches, I'm just going to enjoy it more and more because
yeah,
there's stuff going on all in the background that's really funny, especially when the Green Lantern gets involved.
yes,
It's particularly
yes.
funny. Yeah, so yeah, good choice, excellent choice. Can't.
Mm.
I thought you were going to swerve into the 78 one, which would have been also an awesome choice,
Yes,
actually,
again,
frankly.
like that's what I said of the recent era.
Yeah,
It's because
yeah,
like that's a
absolutely.
good film.
Yeah,
Superman doesn't do much like supering in it.
no,
It's more of an emphasis on the he's a good person
yes,
than
absolutely.
anything else.
Yeah, I did enjoy Superman. Right, let's get to mine. Now, this is a film that came out this year. We'll swerve into that. Horror film. Now, there's been some good horror films, and I just want to mention a few also rans for horror films, right?
Mm.
And I haven't seen them all. There's other horror films I've not seen, like Weapons, that are meant to be really good, and I
Yeah.
just haven't got around to seeing them. I intend to see them very soon, but there's three particular horror films four particular horror films I really enjoyed this year. And these are honorable mentions before I get to my main one. I'm just going to rattle them off.
Mm.
Right? Frankenstein, which we
Yeah.
discussed. Nosferatu. Did we discuss?
No,
Sorry, I said that
I
weird.
haven't seen that word.
Nosferatu. Okay, really odd film, and honestly, it gives me Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me vibes.
Okay.
It's a really odd. It's not like the 22 version or the 79 version. It's got a
Yeah.
different vibe. Story is the vibe, and what's being set up isn't, and it's really rich, and it's a bit jarring because it's so
Yeah.
different from what you expect. However, the more times I watch it, I've only seen it 3 times. I think the more I watch it, the more I like it.
Came out
Uh,
less than a year ago.
yeah, I know, but I've watched it that many times.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. The other one I really liked was a very recent one, and it's not up there with those first two, but it's still very good. It's very good, and he's talking about it a bit more, which was The Long Walk, based on the
Okay.
Stephen King story, and
Yeah.
they did the story justice in that they weren't absolutely faithful to the story. They were faithful to the spirit. It's an excellent version of
Mm.
what is a very good novella from Stephen King. I think it was the first long thing he ever wrote, and he had it in his
Okay.
back pocket for years before he published it, right? But it's
Okay.
really good. I'm sure he may not have, but I feel like it must have had a polish because it's too good. It's too good to be your first effort. Do you know what I mean? It's just too good. The written one,
Yeah.
but the film, they really did justice to it. One of the main actors in it was the guy that played Andy in Alien Romulus. It was that
Okay.
guy,
Yeah.
English actor, doing American. You wouldn't know. He sounds absolutely like an American.
Yeah.
He's one of the characters. And it's basically a Hunger Games battle royale kind of thing. Basically, a set of teens, boys only, around challenge to walk. Basically, a yearly challenge that people watch.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk
They
until
just got to walk
no one's
until they
left or
can't walk
one's
anymore, and then
left.
they get shot
So,
until one's
yeah.
left. And there's 100 in it, I think, or maybe 50. I can't remember now. But it's the main drama is them just talking about stuff on the road as they're walking to pass the time. It really works well. Mark Hamill's the bad guy as well. How about that?
Okay. That's
There's
neat.
a bad guy called the Major who's like runs the walk, and basically America's in a terrible state, but productivity goes through the roof for the weeks that the long walk or the days that the long walk happen.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of really buoyed up by watching this spectator sport. Which reminds me, have you heard about Trump announcing the Patriot Games? Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's that going? What
Ah.
could possibly be wrong with that? Anyway, yeah, let's not virgin it. I wish I hadn't upset it now. But yeah, the long walk was really good, and also the other one I really liked is Final Destination Bloodlines, which I think came out this year. I'm pretty sure it came out this year. I'll just love the how you're feeling about Scream is kind of how I feel when I saw the first Final Destination properly. I'd watched it half and half sometime and thought it was all right, but then I sat down and watched it properly, loved it, and it's just went through the sequels like a dose of salts. Loved. It's a great series that. But I really like. They did some very clever sort of semi-meta things in the Bloodlines that worked, not just here we go. The way
Yeah.
Scream does, right? Scream's clever as hell with the meta,
Yeah.
isn't it? So yeah, but actually, let's get back to the main film of the year. The best horror film of the year, in my opinion, was Sinners. Sinners.
Okay.
Oh man, it was so good. Set in like the sort of the deeply racist Deep South in the 30s, where they're just trying to set these twins, black, who are trying to set up a club, come back to their community and set up a club. They've been working for it. They were in World War One, so they're hardened
Yeah.
veterans. Then they've been working for black guys working for gangsters in Chicago. These are hard
Okay.
as nails guys, right?
Yeah.
But things go wrong, and I'm not. Do you know much about the film?
I I do really want to see this. I
Yeah, I'm
know
not
there's
gonna.
vampires. But
Okay.
that's the extent of my
What
knowledge
what
of it.
I love is how it's the best use of music in a horror film since The Wicker Man. You know how good
Okay.
that was with the folk music and stuff.
Yeah.
Sinners is doing it with blues and stuff
Okay.
like that. In fact, I loved the music in it so much I bought myself a slide guitar. I've always kind of wanted to try slide guitar, and that
Yeah.
film, it sounded so good, and it's so simple, that and the premise is when music can be so good it transcends the barriers between life and death and can attract things that aren't just humans if it's that good, right? That's kind of the premise. And it's got some scenes in it that the first time I saw it's like, what the hell? And then, oh man, yeah, man. And now they're my favorite things when I rewatch. Yeah, really good. I got it in 4K. So if you're around,
Yeah,
sometime
maybe.
we got time, we can watch it. But yeah, Sinners was my top horror film of the year. Probably, but I'm not sure. Superman's up there for me as well. But I just wanted to mention Sinners really in the conversation. It's my favorite horror film of the year. Yeah, and that's some
Okay.
stiff competition. There's been some good horror films this year, but no, Sinners is up there for me. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of swerving into a slightly different one. It isn't a release this year. It's also musically themed. It's K-pop Demon Hunters, which released June. This is a really, really good film. Way better than the title implies it should be.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember you talking about this. Was it a comfy chair you talked about this
Yeah,
before? Yeah, and I was kind of intrigued. And as soon as you talked about it, I see it mentioned everywhere.
yeah,
So I need to get to it myself. Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
might
maybe
give it a
we
go
can
before
we can watch
Christmas.
it. It's got a real the best advertising they could really have done is released like the first 5 minutes until it like puts the title on screen because
Okay,
it has like all the backstory necessary, has a really good fight scene and a song at the same time, and yeah, it's really really good. It's very well animated. I like it's animated by the by Sony Pictures, so they're the same people who do Spider-Verse. So just
Okay, it's
putting
that
your head
vibe.
out, that sort of animation.
Yeah, I want to give it a try, though. You know that I have trouble with anime. I like the work, but that animation
Yeah,
style just jars me. Something about it, I just feel it's jerky, and I have problems with it. That's me. That's me. And I reckon
yeah,
most people I talk to go, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I
yeah.
don't know
I
if it's
go,
some sort
what
of
the hell are
visual
you
thing
talking
I've
about?
got. I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, this one it like won a bunch of awards recently
It's on
because award season.
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. I think it may have won like a Grammy or something.
Okay,
No,
I
that comes out because that comes out like next year, early next year.
yeah, I'm making a
They
note of
they
this.
did
I
some.
might.
They won a lot of stuff.
I've got some free time in tomorrow night, so I might actually just watch it. I'm
Yeah.
just writing it down. Right, okay. My next one is a rewatch. One we've discussed before. I think we've even
Mhm.
covered twice. It's one of those rare ones we may have covered twice. Dredd.
Mm.
Got the 4K version. Had to import it from Germany. Got the 4K version. Oh my god! I mean, the thing is, it doesn't look particularly better than the Blu-ray. But what I'm saying, oh my god, is the film. What a film! Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so rocks. Carl Urban is so good in this. It's like, and I actually get annoyed when I see certain films that are okay getting sequels because of this
Yeah.
film. It's like, what the hell is going on? Why? Why are we not getting a sequel to Dredd? We are now further away from, Dredd came out in 2012. We're now
Yeah.
further away from Dredd coming out than Dredd was from the year 2000. It's that long ago. It's like, what the hell? What is wrong with you? Why has this not got
Yeah.
anything going on? I mean, there's talk of a TV show, which would be
Yeah,
fine, but it never
that's been
emerges, does
taught.
it?
Yeah, that's been taught since
Rebellion
the
keep
series.
talking out,
Yeah,
yeah.
Streets of Mega City 1.
Yeah.
It keeps popping up, and every time it's like, "Yep, Carl Urban's on board to do it. Are we going
Yeah.
to actually progress it? No."
It's one of the great. I mean, in future, I can see film stores going, why on earth wasn't a sequel made of this? It's because no one
Hmm.
in America went to see it, right? That's
Yeah,
the real issue. It did in Britain, it was like the highest grossing 18,
gangbusters.
I think,
Yeah.
right? So we loved it here. We got brains. Right? Oh, I better not say that. But you know what I mean. What I think a lot of people thought it was a remake of the Stallone thing. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Also, it did even with his box office run, it did not make money.
Yeah.
So we like there
Uh,
is no financial incentive for him to actually make another one.
Yeah, but it must have made it back from streaming
Yeah,
and
possibly.
sales by now, right? Word of mouth alone, right?
Yeah,
Um,
we
very
can only
annoying,
hope.
but man,
Like,
it's a glory. It is a glory of a film. So glad this film got made.
yeah,
And just I've got a dream in my head where I know what stories I want to see in the sequel and the third movie and stuff like that.
mm,
I've got it in my head, but it's probably
yeah.
never going to
Like
happen.
I can easily visualize the chain here because it's like next they should do Cursed Earth because like they've established the city, go out of the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
I'll be
after
all
that
right.
they should
That's not my
hit
idea, but I
Apocalypse War.
like. Yeah, Apocalypse was should be the third film,
Yeah.
definitely.
I feel like
Um,
Cursed Earth helps build up the sillier stuff that's in
yeah,
Dread,
yeah,
like the roving packs of dinosaurs that are just out there, and
yeah,
even the fast food wars
yeah.
could be good.
It's a universe a bit like the Futurama universe, right? There's
Yeah,
mutants, there's aliens, there's dinosaurs, there's
yeah.
all sorts.
There's
Uh,
just stuff.
But having said that, I'm glad that this film kept it really grounded and simple.
Yeah,
And it was unfortunate it came out at the same time as The Raid with a very similar plot. And people
yeah,
saying, "Oh, The Raid's better." It's like, yeah, The Raid's a different kind of film. It's a great film, but it ain't Dread,
yeah.
right? That's
Literally,
the
my
thing.
only complaint is the bikes look a bit weedy
Yeah,
in
they never get
comparison
the
to the.
bikes right.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I see bikes out on the street sometimes, and you think, yeah, now that would be a good judge for everyone.
Honestly, the
But it can't be
Stallone
that
film was
hard.
kind of closer for the bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because they are
Um,
chunky in that film.
yeah, to
But
be
they also
clear,
fly, which is,
I quite like the Stallone film,
yeah,
but I like its realization of Mega City 1, actually. I think it's very good.
yeah,
Um, but, Dread is 2012 Dread is where it's at, right?
yeah.
Yeah, great film. Back to you.
Okay, so well, I guess last one actually, is a film it's not wasn't released this year, but watched it for the first time this year. Kubo and the Two Strings. wow, that was a good film.
Yeah, I was amazed how good it was, actually. I
Mm.
was not expecting much, but it moved me. It's
Yeah.
amazing how some animated films do move you. I mean, not that
Mm.
amazing, we're used to it from Disney, for example, when we're children.
Yeah.
But yeah, as an old man,
Mm.
I found it quite moving and touching, and I really quite enjoyed it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, good choice.
Mm.
Um, I always get kind of taken aback when I see an animated film and it affect and I'm not expecting it. Now, there's some like Ghibli films.
Yeah.
What I'm not surprised if they affect me,
There's
right?
something about animation that can kind of punch through your barriers.
Yes,
So,
yeah, it can get to you. I recently watched for the first time Tokyo Godfathers, for example,
I
and
keep
that
meaning
got
to
to
see that.
me.
Yeah.
That got to me in a way I didn't expect because it seemed like goofy and weird, but there were moments and it's like, wow, that's lovely,
Yeah.
Um, uh, but yeah, Kubo and the Two Strings. Really
Mm.
enjoyed that. Never heard of it before you even suggested it. It's like, well,
Mm.
okay, we'll go with this. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, really, really affected, actually.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Okay, my next one, we're going into the bad
Yeah.
and actually odd, right? And both of these, I've got two. And both of these are more symptoms of a category or a set of films, right?
Yeah.
But the first one is Blackenstein. Uh,
Blackenstein.
I've
Oh, I
been
knew about
working
Blackula. I didn't know about
Blackenstein.
Blackenstein.
Well, that I'm glad you mentioned Blackula because I'm going to talk about that too.
Okay.
Blackenstein, I tend to get a bee in my bonnet and work through like a whole genre sometimes. If it's a small one, I can't do all westerns, that'd be silly or horror. Like that.
Yeah.
But black exploitation is reasonably finite. There's like 50 odd movies that can be classed as a black exploitation, right? I'd say 40% of them are pretty good. 10% are top tier excellent, but there's a lot of dross. There's some
Yeah.
really terrible. They're not entertaining. The directors, Blackenstein's probably a good sort of pinnacle. And I have picked it for a
Yeah.
specific reason because of Blackula, and I'll come to that in a minute.
Mm.
Blackenstein is one of those ones that's just awful. The direction's awful, the feel is awful, and I'm not because it's Blackenstein. I like Blackula. I like Ruby, which is like the black version of The Exorcist, for example. I think they're good, but Blackenstein was just poorly made, poorly conceived, just an awful, awful film.
Mm.
I think it might have come out when Young Frankenstein came out, and they renamed it Black Frankenstein, or they might have put it out again as Black
Yeah.
Frankenstein, like Young Frankenstein. Um, there's a lot of films that were brought out on the back of Young Frankenstein with similar titles that are just terrible. If you want to see a horrendous film, we'll do this sometimes. There's one sometimes called Old Dracula.
Oh.
Uh, with David Niven. Bought off on the back of Young Frankenstein because old Dracula, right? It was
Yeah.
originally called Vampire, by the way, but that is an awful film. That's just we'll do it. We
Vampira.
got to do it sometime. We got to do it sometime. But Blackenstein's awful. But the reason I picked it specifically is because it contrasts so starkly with Blackula. Now, Blackula sounds exploitation through and through, doesn't it? That title alone, right? However, it's well made, it's well crafted. The central actor, William Marshall, is an excellent Shakespearean, a black Shakespearean actor. He's excellent as Blackula. And some of his dialogue is actually quite profound about the black experience.
Mm.
You named yourself after your slave master and you act like your slave master. He announces to this pimp that starts hassling him, right?
Yeah.
Things like that. Really good. Whereas Blackenstein's just tragically bad. Right?
Yeah.
And black exploitation I have found like that. But there's some awesome ones. A recent awesome one, for example, is the Shaft one from 2021, I think. That was
Yeah.
an amazing film. That was an amazing so I'm not down on the whole genre. It's just there's this entire subset where they're cheap, really badly put together, badly written, badly acted. Stories that don't really make sense. Even having said that, there's still a fewer ones that are like that. They're reasonably entertaining because the exploitation is really, the violence and stuff is really
Yeah.
cranked up, and it's kind of fun from that point of view. But the worst ones are really awful. Though I do like quite a lot of blaxploitation films. But yeah, I've got to mention Blackenstein. But it's a bad one though. Anyway,
Okay.
back to you.
So my one, I'm swerving into odd here, and again, not a film of this year. It's a film of the 80s, I believe. Lair of the White Worm.
Yeah, you talked
So
about this,
Hugh
didn't you?
Grant and Peter Capaldi. This is a very strange film. You literally cannot guess what's going to happen scene to scene because it'll just take wild swerves, and there's no way you can predict any of it. Like it's very fun. I do highly recommend it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a great bit where Peter Capaldi's chasing a police officer around playing the bagpipes. That's very funny. And yeah, the female, the antagonist, is just a spectacularly like she's got terrible dialogue, but the actress has enough charisma to completely own any scene. There's a bit where she has to explain to cause she, as I said, already said, she's the antagonist. She's doing a lot of snake metaphors, trying to seduce a guy.
Yeah.
So she invites him into her place, and then instead of like in this normal situation in horror films, there might be like a game, and games get played like chess or something high class.
Yeah,
They play snakes and ladders.
yeah. Well, that works as a statement.
Yeah, it's
You're making it
like
sound like a carry-on film a bit.
honestly, kind of it starts with Peter Capaldi digging about 2 feet into the ground and finding a giant T-Rex skull.
Wow.
It's like it's
Wow.
insane.
Capaldi, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some recommends. I think I might have mentioned them when you talked about this before. These are all from Ken Russell, all right?
Okay.
I don't. There's one. I can't. I'm going to Google the name, but there's one I'm thinking of that's amazing as well. Like really cheesy but weird. Anyway, the ones I'm going to recommend is Gothic, which I think I mentioned before, which is
Yes,
Ken
I think
Russell's take on Byron Shelley and Mary Shelley, all at that by the lake, and thinking of the Frankenstein movie.
yeah, I think you mentioned
Um,
this when I talked about this in a comfy
yeah.
chair.
Another one is Altered States.
Okay.
And the other one I'm just trying to find now, which has got Kathleen Turner in as a prostitute, but
Okay.
without Anthony Perkins, as like this mad bloke that's obsessed with her, and it's totally mental. But I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Came out in the 80s. I know her name was China Blue in it, so let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
I can't
But
find it.
yeah.
That's so annoying. But yeah, it's got one of those 2 word titles that are completely unmemorable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I
Um,
know what you mean.
it's one of
Maybe
those.
it was
But
China Blue. So,
well, I know her. Her prostitute name, Crimes of
yeah.
Passion. Sorry, it wasn't a 2 word. Crimes of Passion. I recommend that. That is bonkers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lair of the White Worm. I haven't seen. I've seen bits of it.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of mad.
It's
But
got
for
a
some
kind of
reason, I've never got
really
to it.
good folksy song about a third of the way into it.
Yeah, I'm
About
guessing it.
about how part of it is there's a local myth that a lord like killed a white worm that was terrorizing the land, and it's just a song about that. It's really quite engaging.
Yeah, sounds like it's bordering into folk horror as well. Then,
A
really,
little, yeah.
because the horror comes from the underground. Presumably, it's kind of Lovecraftian. If it's about,
A little bit.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a kind of a motif of like the worm has kind of just it keeps re-arising. Like it pops up. They find like well, to go to be clear on it, they find like Roman stuff about it. They find medieval stuff about it,
yeah.
and yeah, it's just this happened and someone killed it every single time.
Yeah, I mean, a worm is giant worms are things in Celtic mythology. They're like analogues of
Yeah, the
dragons, right?
lindworm and the lung.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay, that's cool. Okay, my next one. Well, it's kind of a category, but the category is Elvis movies.
oh boy,
Um, and the thing is, there are some really good Elvis movies, really good. Don't get me wrong. There's, Jailhouse Rock's pretty good. King Creole's one of my favorites. Viva Las Vegas, which I've only seen fairly recently, is amazing. Absolutely
Hmm.
amazing. But there is, I'd say over half of them are trash. And a fair few are like 2 and 1 stars. I mean, really bad. Really bad. I'll give an
Hmm.
example of one I think is awful. Is The Trouble with Girls. It's kind of well, no, actually, there's an even better one than that because you can get the vibe of why it's so terrible. Harum Scarum. Harum Scarum is a film
Oh.
by Elvis Presley. Right? It's set in Arabia, let's say the Middle East. Can you imagine what an American film set in the middle of this is like? Um, but and basically, it's got all of those issues you can guess.
Yeah.
But it's also got Elvis. Elvis is always pretty good. He's got charisma and he can act, right? But the actual stories and stuff and the direction's usually okay. It's the stories are boring and they haven't got any decent songs. When you haven't got a decent song in an Elvis film, you are in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And quite a lot of the ones that I'd consider sort of lower just have bad songs. Don't have one good song. If you can find one good song, that probably raises it at least a whole star for me, right?
Yeah.
Just one good song. That's all I ask. Having said that, there are some very, very good ones. You know, there are. Don't. Blue Hawaii is a great one. There's a really good late Elvis one called "Live a Little, Love a Little" that I really enjoyed, for example. But there's others, and it's quite charming. And when he's given a good script and a good set of characters around him, they're pretty solid. But there were some awful, dreadful ones. And so I'm going to put Harum Scarum on the list as don't watch this. It's just bad. Yeah, back to you.
Okay. So this is my first sort of dip into the bad territory. So I've got a Christmas film that I watched for the first time recently. Let me just find when it came out. 2006. It's called Deck the Halls. It's got Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick as the lead characters.
Yeah.
So to explain it, so you know in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, there's that one joke about the like lights on the outside of the house.
Yes.
Where it's like, hey, they don't work. He turns it on, the power shoots up, and like that's it. That's all that they really address it.
Yeah.
It's just they made a whole film out of that. That one joke. And it's not funny.
Okay.
So the premise is Danny DeVito's character wants to. He's recently moved into an area next door to Matthew Broderick's family. And he's decided that he wants to, because Google Earth was apparently a new thing. He wants to be able to see his house from space purely on the power of his Christmas lights.
Wow. Okay.
And it just becomes a thing of him and Matthew Broderick arguing over the amount of lights on.
See, I mean, the concept sounds funny. The concept does sound funny. However, weirdly enough, I was looking at alternative Christmas movies the other day, and I came across this. I thought, Danny DeVito film about Christmas. That sounds great. Looked at the reviews. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, it has a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's a stinker. That's a stinker. Okay.
It was nominated for 3 Razzies that year.
Yeah. Wow. So... It's hard to believe because Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito sounds like a winner, right? It's just not. Okay. I haven't got any more films. Have you got many more, or should I just start
I've got
TV list?
2 more. I can mention them in brief because we kind of went over one of them thoroughly.
Okay.
And the other one I have talked about previously in a comfy chair.
Go on then.
So the one I mentioned in brief, The Avengers, 98. Wow, what a terrible film.
Oh God, it stung, didn't it? It had one laugh, I think, or maybe 2.
I can't remember if there was a laugh.
No, there was definitely something that made me laugh. And I'm not talking about Sean Connery dressed as a teddy bear in a business meeting. It was something that actually did make me laugh. It was right near the end. Oh, I can't really remember, man.
Yeah,
it was totally misjudged. I thought Uma Thurman was good in a terrible film. That's all I'll say. If the rest of it had been up to what she was doing, it would have been much better, right? Much better. But yeah.
My other one is a film I have talked about previously on the Comfy Chair, but it was so bad it needs restating, and it did come out this year. That's War of the Worlds. Oh my God, it's awful.
Was it Ice-T? I can't remember.
Yes. How was it?
Yeah.
It was just an Amazon delivery advert. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
it's such a shame. I mean, Ice Cube, sorry, yeah. The only decent version of War of the Worlds I've seen is that 50s one, right? I don't like the Tom Cruise. I just feel like it's such a simple story to deliver. Just deliver it. And no one does.
But you don't need to make it like this whole thing about the government stealing data,
No.
which is what they do it about. The aliens are there to steal all our data.
Yeah.
Uh,
um. Okay. Right. Good. Okay.
yeah,
Movies done. Right.
terrible.
TV. Actually, I'd totally forgotten this, but you talking about Capaldi reminding me of it. I think you know where I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
Doctor Who. I finished a full watch of every Doctor Who. It's
Yeah.
taken 6 years. Uh,
Now, is this everything available? Because I know
everything.
a lot of it is lost.
No, I've even watched reconstructed versions.
Hmm.
So and that was usually almost all the audio's not lost, right? It's the
Yeah.
video that's lost. So I've watched
I
reconstructed
remember.
versions where they're showing pictures, right? Which is
Yeah.
still enough to get to the gist. And I think there may have been one story missing, which I actually read, just
Okay.
so I'd done it. I watched everything. Watched everything. I've got quite a simple summary of all this, which is the last really great series of Doctor Who were the last two seasons of Peter Capaldi. They
Hmm.
are really good. They were what I think everyone was expecting when Capaldi was cast, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
we went through 2 seasons of him being goofy and riding around
Yeah.
on dinosaurs and playing electric guitars and stuff. But the last 2 seasons of Capaldi were absolutely terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Hmm.
And those are the ones that I hadn't really seen. The
Hmm.
other thing I'll mention is old. Oh my god, I'm blanking on. I'm doing this more and more
Jodie
lately.
Whittaker?
No, I'm blanking on. No, it's classic. The Seventh Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Old Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester
Yeah.
McCoy. He is amazing in quite a bad set of episodes, but he just lifts it. And they're not all bad. He
Hmm.
only made 12 stories. I'd say four are pretty damn good. Four are okay, and four are like, what the hell's going on? And we actually discussed one of those what the hell going on. And actually it's my favourite, even though it's so terrible. Silver Nemesis.
Yeah.
The Cybermen versus neo-Nazis versus medieval witch one. The concept is awesome. The delivery was just appallingly bad. But yeah, he's great. Jodie Whittaker,
Hmm.
this was the era I was most. Capaldi and Whittaker was the eras I most hadn't watched, right? And I was really pleased getting through Capaldi's last 2 seasons. Jodie Whittaker, not terrible, but there's just a couple of good episodes. That's it. And there was lots
Hmm.
of new stuff thrown in unnecessarily. Didn't really add anything. Didn't
Yeah, the
was
timeless child stuff
yeah,
is
it was addressed
nonsense.
cursorily. It wasn't really. It doesn't really change anything. However, there were two good episodes. There was one about Witchfinders.
Hmm.
Um, I think called the Witchfinders. That was a really good episode.
Yeah.
And there was one straight after it. There was like two in a row that were really good. And I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was called, but it was. They went to a kind of weird pocket universe which had
Hmm.
been created to correct all the anomalies of the original universe to stop the original or something like that. But essentially, when they went there, they were meeting people that they knew that had died. So
Ah.
Bradley Walsh, for example, met his wife who had died.
Yeah.
But I loved his reaction and how he dealt with it. Bradley Walsh was really good in this because he's basically he met his wife instead of usually happens in these things. Oh, we got to get back. His reaction was, no, this is wrong. This
Yeah.
shouldn't have been. This shouldn't be right. And the doctor was like, well, but no, he was very good as a companion in that episode. But those were the only two episodes I really liked. I gotta
Yeah.
say of Jodie Whittaker's run. She was written a bit too one note for me.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're coming off of Peter Capaldi and like Matt Smith did some amazing dark and light dots of stuff, right? Jodie
Yeah.
Whittaker doesn't get an opportunity to do any of that. Which
Yeah.
I think she had too many companions, and that interaction clouded any clear line of interaction between the Doctor and her companions. There was a bit with Yaz and a bit with Bradley Walsh's character,
Mm.
um, but it was just muddled. And I don't know. I feel a bit sad about Doctor Who because it's just gone off the rails quite a bit in terms of just
Yeah.
being entertaining and
I
fun,
think
right?
this internally the scales got too big.
Yeah,
Like every
it has to
single
be
thing
about a
I've
village, right? Not
yeah.
a bloody multiverse every time,
Yeah.
right?
It's just
Um,
like every other episode it felt while watching Shooting Out where it's like, oh, he's fighting the god of thing. It's like, Again,
Yeah.
come on.
However, I will say I thought there was a good 5 or 6 Shooter Gatwa episodes that were actually
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, I'm not saying they were bad. It's
No,
just everything
no.
was too grand a scale.
Yes,
Like,
I
oh,
agree.
like our villain is death itself. It's like, no, like
Yeah.
it's too much,
I
especially
don't know
because
where
none
it's
of
going
them
to go. It
do anything.
probably needs resting, which is a bit sad. I'd like to see it
Yeah,
go on, but if I had a choice, I'd give this to a few different people. I'd just give it. I've been watching Inside Number Nine, which is an amazing TV series. In fact, I was going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it now, right? Um,
yeah,
sorry, I'm going on. Inside Number Nine. I've just started watching. And I have to stop because I'm doing a podcast about anthology TV, and the guys I'm doing it with, I've promised them that I won't rush ahead. So whenever we talk about a series of, I'll be the new guy in the room, right? But honestly, man, that is some great telly. Those guys are so talented. Reece Smith and Steve Pemberton. Give them Doctor Who or
mm,
something, right? Or give it to There's a guy called what's his name? Straczynski. J. Michael
yeah.
Straczynski, who did Babylon 5. He's moved to England because he wants the rights for Doctor Who. And Babylon 5's got some great ideas. He'd be great. Yeah, there's a lot of people that could deliver something really worthwhile, I think,
Mm.
for Doctor Who. But then it's not going to happen, I don't think. But yeah. So just mention another one of mine was Inside Number Nine. I've only watched the first 2 series and the first episode of series 3 because it was a Christmas episode. Um, Give it a try, Sam. It's on the iPlayer. It's all free. Only half hour. They just have. It's a different, story every episode. It's an anthology series, but some
Yeah.
of them are hilarious. Some of them are dark, but they're all really well made. There isn't a bad episode I've seen so far.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, sorry, I did 2 there.
Yeah, no
Unintentional.
worries.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do my first TV one, and I only have good TV ones because I didn't really watch that much TV.
I've
I
only
did,
got good TV ones
yeah.
too. Yeah.
I didn't. If something didn't sound good, I just didn't watch
Yeah.
it, or if it
There's
didn't
too
seem good by
much.
the
There's too
first
much to
episode, yeah,
bother, isn't there?
there's no point. So, on that, I'm watched up to season halfway through season 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is really good TV.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so. My only real problem with it is there's always one episode a season, which is an absolute stinker. Like, consistently, there's just one where it's like, that was
I think that's a
pathetic.
great hit rate. I've
Like,
got to be
yeah,
honest.
considering there's like 20 something episodes a season, except for the first season,
Yeah.
there's like, it's a good average. And yeah, it's a really, really fun TV show.
Yeah.
I like, it's weird having watched recent shows where everything's kind of really tight. Like everything is the main story. Everything has to be the main story.
Yeah,
It's weird watching a show that has filler episodes.
it's nice to watch something episodic, isn't it? Right,
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, there's not been much of. I mean, Mandalorian was kind of episodic, even though it had a long arc. But most
yeah,
other shows are one long story, aren't they? Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I have to say, I rewatched Buffy. Sorry, not rewatched. Watched for the first time Buffy. I finished a couple of years ago. Watched a whole lot. Um, I have certain thoughts of when I always liked it from the beginning, for episode 1, but there was
Yeah.
a point I actually engaged quite strongly emotionally to it. I was like really attached to it and really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. For me, it was like when season 3 started. I think there
Mm,
was something happened. Season 1 and 2 were like, yeah, they're fun, they're fluff. I enjoy them. Don't really think about them. But once
yeah.
I got to season 3, something happened and I was like much more engaged. How was it for you? Was it good from the beginning, or
Honestly, it was pretty good from the beginning. Then
yeah,
Spike showed up and it ramped
yeah,
everything up.
yeah,
And then there was the amazing villain of the mayor, who
yeah,
whose complete joviality in every single scene kind of steals it every single time.
yeah,
Season 4 was a bit of a dud in comparison, but season 5's been really good so
yeah?
far.
I have to. Who's your favorite? Who do you think is the best character in the show? Buffy.
Spike.
Right,
So,
I agree. Spike to me, honestly, it didn't occur to me until like right near the end. Season what? How many seasons are there?
the
7.
7.
So,
Please do not spoil
I'm not
this.
going to spoil it.
Like,
No, I'm not. I'm not going to talk about any details. But there was a point. I think probably season 5 or something like that,
Mm.
where I always thought it was good. I always thought Spike was good, but it was a point where it was like Spike's the actual real main character of this.
Okay.
I just feel like, or at least for me, he was by far the most interesting character.
Yeah.
He's got some complex shit going on, and he's just good. He's just
Yeah.
good, and he
One of
was
my
always good. He was always good, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes is in season 3, where like the Scoobies are kind of like, yeah, we're kind of on top of everything now. There's nothing that can really shake us up, and then it just does a Spike crashing into the town sign, rolling out of his car in a complete drunken haze. Literally,
Yeah,
when that happened, me and all my friends that I watched it with all cheered because he was back.
yeah. I'd say there was one bit about the early seasons I didn't like, which they resolved, and I was very happy. Which is I really didn't like Angel. I thought he was a non-character, and when he disappeared, it was fine.
Okay, so I was going to say Xander is my main problem with the earlier
Yeah,
seasons
you mentioned
because
you have mentioned.
surprise swerve in season 5, he seems like a reasonable guy now. Like he's just like a decent person. He's
Yeah,
kind of trying to
I
cheat
always
her his new
liked him.
girlfriend.
I
Yeah,
always liked him, so I've
oh,
had
he's
one of my
awful in the first few seasons.
one of my favorite episodes. I'm pretty sure it's an early one. If
Is it the Zeppo?
it's the one where he becomes almost like Spider-Man 3. He becomes Super Flash, and all the girls are because he gets a weird
Right.
enchantment on him.
Yes.
You've
The
seen that
the
one?
yes that's the one where he's just broken up with Cody. I shouldn't actually say any specific
Yeah,
story stuff. But yeah. So he's just got broken up with, and she kind of takes it out by casting a spell on him. But because of defensive measures, every woman
loves
is becomes attracted to him.
to him, and he's like, and that just made me laugh like drains. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very solid cast. Giles, amazing,
yeah,
right? Sarah Michelle Gellar, really
yeah.
great in the role. I really like the film, but it is a different beast. It's like an almost like an alternate universe Buffy. That's the way to
Yeah,
look at it.
it's because there's bits that kind of in the series where they kind of recreate stuff from the film. Like our first
I
meeting
can't.
the Watcher,
Okay,
the Don Sutherland character,
I hadn't put
so
that
it's a different
together.
guy.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like just weird bits. So it's like so it's kind of canon, but the show overrules the film.
yeah,
In that, if
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, Buffy was the start of that snappy dialogue that we tend to get.
Yeah, Whedon-esque
We
dialogue
used to
that's
only
now
get
kind of a
in
bit of a
comedy
bane.
shows, but now we get it in
Yeah,
like dramas, right?
everything.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but good. I'm glad you're
it's
enjoying it. You've got
yeah,
a lot of good stuff ahead of you. That's great.
yeah.
Um, okay, so I talked about Doctor. Right, my next TV one is, this is a very UK one, so we'll keep it brief. But man, this show entertained me like no other this
Yeah.
year, and that was Celebrity Traitors, the UK version.
Ugh.
I know it's probably not your wheelhouse whatsoever, but God, I can't remember laughing so hard in such a long time. The shenanigans and the fact that one of the traitors was basically sweating.
Mm.
And if someone asked him, "Are you a traitor?" he'd just laugh. He wouldn't be able to answer. And somehow, he never it went day after day. I'm not getting. It was very funny. I just
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say more than that. I thought it was tip top entertainment. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and look forward to each episode. And they were all pretty much gold. There was all sorts of, and I honestly going in, I thought it wasn't going to work. I thought, Celebrity's not going to really work. It's when we don't know them, it's funnier to see them
yeah,
what shenanigans they're up to. But actually, you knowing them beforehand, it's even funnier when they're being snaky bastards. So yes, it's I really enjoyed that one. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, so my next one is one I did talk about in a comfy chair. It's a web series called The Amazing Digital Circus, loosely based on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. There's
That's mental.
people stuck in a virtual reality situation where they can't remember their names. They've got weird like animated avatars that are all sort of different. Like one of them's a chess piece, one of them's like a rag doll, one of them's like a weird little clown thing. and they just kind of have to weather this AI called Kane, who's like the ringmaster of the circus, who to try and keep them sane because they can't die while they're in the machine. To keep them sane, he sends them on weird adventures. But
Is it for children or is it adult?
no,
It's
it is very
adult.
much not for
Yeah.
children.
Okay.
Though it is a thing that while they're in the game, they have to be child friendly. So while they swear, it is censored out.
And it's on YouTube, this, right?
Yes, this is available on YouTube. They recently brought out the 7th episode. It's all really good.
Do they bring out episodes occasionally then? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's they release them as the episode is finished. So
Okay.
there's
So
sometimes
there's no
long
point
gaps.
holding up. There's no point holding
you
up.
should just
waiting
watch
for it to
it
end.
like
Just
as it does.
This sounds absolutely in my wheelhouse. The fact it's
It's
based on a Harlan Ellison short story or whatever is kind of something. Yes.
yeah. All
Um,
the like NPCs that King comes up with are all very funny as well, because most of them will slowly start to figure out, and then he's like, bit too smart, gone," and just deletes them.
wow.
And sometimes he'll then bring I guess, the character model back. So the players, main characters, kind of have to deal with looking at someone that they were friends with, just not them. So
Yeah. Great. That
it's
sounds right
really
in my,
fun.
again, putting it on my list. How long's an episode? Is it half hour?
They're
hour?
usually about half hour.
Yeah, so there's only 6 out at the minute, right? Is that right?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I would also recommend looking at all the advertising for the like they made a bunch of merchandise for it because they're also quite funny as well.
Okay. Cool. Right. Sounds cool. Okay, my next TV one is I've got 2 more, but one's going to be very short. How many have you got left?
I've got it's technically 2 more, but it's one category.
Okay,
So-
well I've got a very short one, but I'll leave the short one for the very end. I'll do the long
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Stranger Things.
Mhm.
Been rewatched a whole lot in preparation for season 5, and have caught up with season 5, which so I think there's only 4 episodes in season 5, and then they're releasing some more on 26th of December, and then releasing the final one on New Year's Eve. Right? No one's going to watch it, surely not. And there might be a watch party. I don't know. However, my thoughts on this are: season 1 is elite. It's like a 5 out of 5 for me. Season 1 of Stranger Things remains thoroughly entertaining. It reminded me of why everyone was kind of obsessed with this show. Rewatching it, I just really, really enjoyed it. 2 then is the weakest. 3 is better, quite a bit better, nowhere close to 1. 4 is getting close to 1, but still not elite, but still very, very good. 4. 5, it feels about the same as 4. We've only seen 4 episodes. They've left it a cliffhanger at the end of episode 4, which is a brilliant cliffhanger. Actually, I have to say, it really sets up you ready for the next set of adventures. It's nice and clean. You know the stakes. The good guys. It's all set up really well. But yeah, season 1 remains just tip top for me. It was because I've watched 1 the most times because I watch it each time a new season comes out, and so 2 is my second most watched, and so on. And I keep thinking maybe 2 will get better, but no, it's got its problems, and it's almost like they didn't quite know what to do, and it takes almost to season 4 to resolve some of the issue-y kind of stuff in season 2, really. But season 1, yeah, top tier.
Okay.
You like Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, I watched the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's a case of like 3 felt like a conclusion, so I kind of stopped there, and then 4 came out, and I heard it was good, but I never really felt like watching any more of it.
They got this knack. They got this knack of introducing really good new characters. So even if you don't like, for example, season 2, Sean Astin's character, great character.
Yeah.
And there's similar ones in 3 and 4. 4's got a great character called Eddie, for example.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same in 5. The one they've done in 5 is I did not expect that character to be so good, Because when you first encounter these characters, it's like, oh well, it's, just annoying. But it made me laugh in the end. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the conclusion. It has got that feel of, Steve Buscemi in the high school, hanging out with the kids
because
they are so
they're
old.
all in their mid-20s now, and they're still playing like maybe high schoolers.
High schoolers, yes. So it's got that.
Very Power Rangers.
It's not quite up there with Grease in terms of old teenagers that are, should be, middle-aged teenagers. It's not quite up there with Grease, but it's kind of getting there. They definitely need to conclude it after this. So, unless it's like 10 years later or 20, something like that. But so yeah, I'm enjoying it. But season 1 remains the goat of the whole lot.
Okay.
Back to you.
Yeah, so my last one is something I actually started watching very recently because then a new series came out. It's technically 2 series, but they're part of the same setting. It's like saying if you're watching, like, for example, a Superman and a Green Lantern thing at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a show about being in hell, basically. Shows about being in hell from sort of 2 different angles. There's Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Combined, they're part of what's called the Hellaverse. So Has Been Hotel the premise is that hell has an overpopulation problem. Heaven is starting to send down extermination squads to resolve that issue.
Hold on. This is animated. This is
animated. It is not a kid's show.
Is it American? What?
Yes, it's American.
This sounds grim. Is it a drama? What
it's a musical comedy. Yeah. About half of Broadway seems to be in this, according to what people have been saying to me, because I don't really know Broadway at all. But yeah, a lot of the voice actors are like Broadway stars. So I know Adam, first man and head of the Exterminators, is voiced by the guy that plays Beetlejuice on Broadway. Something Brightman, Alex Brightman, I think his name is.
Okay.
But yeah, so Lucifer's daughter, who's called Charlie, she set up what she hopes will be a way to stop the exterminations, which is basically a therapy course that's called the Happy Hotel, where people stay, and the idea is that they work themselves into heaven, essentially, through therapy and resolving their sins. Spoilers, by the end of the first season, they are successful 1 time, which kind of throws heaven for a loop, because it's like any of the people we redeemed could have made it. So that's a fun dynamic.
It's setting up a massive sort of religious conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Wow. A bit like Dogma or something.
So the Happy Hotel becomes the Has Been Hotel. There's a lot of fun characters. Lucifer shows up every so often, and he's always very funny, because he's very much kind of trying to do the cool dad thing, but really not involved in it.
Is it like Phil Dunphy or something?
Kind of, yeah. That's probably the closest approximation. But so, for example, the first time his daughter calls him, he answers it with, he's like, "Oh God, how do I answer? How do I answer?" Puts the phone to his ears. "Hey, bitch." And it's just like, I shouldn't have said that. So.
Oh dear! Oh, that sounds great. This is on. I was looking.
This is on Amazon Prime. The other
it was on YouTube, right?
Yeah. No. So there was a pilot that was put up on YouTube, and then it got picked up by Prime.
Right.
The other show, Hell of a Boss, was fully on YouTube. Then Prime also picked it up. So now going forward, new episodes of Hell of a Boss, they start on Prime, but will still get uploaded for YouTube free.
Okay.
They did a whole advert on it. Hell of a Boss is kind of the opposite. So whereas Has Been Hotel focuses on humans, they're called, within the context of the show, there's sinners, which are humans that have died and been sent to hell, and there's Hellborn, which are the already existing residents. The angels can kill the sinners, not the Hellborn.
Yeah.
Hell of a Boss is about the Hellborn. It's specifically a few imps who have been able to get a hold of an artifact that lets them go to the real world, and they use it to basically do hits on people, as they're hired by sinners to do hits on people in revenge, basically. So, for example, in the first one, there's a wife that got cheated on. She shot the affair partner, her partner and then Doctor Self. Turns out the affair partner survived and got a lot of money for being such a survivor, and she wants that person killed,
Wow.
basically. So this group, this company called Imp, the Immediate Murder Professionals,
Amazing.
basically go to the real world. And this one's more of a comedy, so there's a lot of shenanigans about them, like tumbling through, and they've got a
Again.
lot of voice actors
Wow.
from that you might recognize from like Cartoon Network shows. For example, the voice actor for Billy from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is one of the main characters.
You are putting a lot of stuff on my to watch list. I'm
Yeah,
having to tell you.
it's fun. It's very sweary. There's a lot of very immature jokes, and there's a lot of raunchy jokes as well.
Okay.
I will say I really do enjoy the way they put the way they portray hell. So the different like sins that have on different layers. All the sinners live up on the pride layer, and all
Yeah.
the different sins, as it were, have physical embodiments. The first one you really see is the embodiment of lust, and his name's Asmodeus, and he sings a
Yeah.
great song because the reason that they can go to the surface is the head of the company, who's named Blitz, slept with a very powerful demon who's apparently a real demon of the Ars Goetia, the book, like that book of demons,
Okay.
called Stolas, and stole a grimoire that lets him do that. And he's basically going on a date with this guy to what he thinks is called Ozzy's place. Turns out it belongs to Asmodeus. And there's a
Wow.
whole song about it's like, ooh, you're cheating on your wife with this imp. Oh, ain't that just the embodiment of lust? Oh, he gave it all up for a thrust. And it's like, ugh.
Okay.
It's a whole song. There's a lot of jazzy music in this. You really like it. Keith David's in Has Been Hotel, and he has two songs. They're
Amazing.
both
Keith David.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Keith David all day. I'm there
Yeah.
all day for that. Oh yeah, that sounds. Actually, you just mentioned there's all these specialist hells. It made me think. This is going to be a very quick aside, right? And no one
Yeah.
probably know what I'm talking about. There used to be a radio comedy show called Old Nick's Game. Is
Oh,
it
Harry's Game, right?
Old Harry's Game? Old Harry's Game.
Yeah.
That's right. And in that, they're constantly talking about, oh, I've got this room of hell for this, and there's a running joke of all these different hells, and he says,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's the Pope's room.
Yeah.
And there's all these popes in there moaning. He goes, well, what have you sentenced them to? He goes, oh, they're all 9 months pregnant, permanent.
Yeah.
And that just made me laugh. And it's got stuff like that all the way through. It's a good
Yeah.
show. I haven't listened to it in years, but it just reminded me of that when you were talking about
Yeah.
different.
I think you'll like a lot of the characters. I think in particular you'll like one guy called Alistair, who's the radio demon, who constantly talks like he's talking through like a 30s like radio. It's
Radio. So
constantly
it's got
like staticky.
that. It's got
Yeah.
that sort of sound.
Like,
Yeah.
hello, darling, who's down for this sort of thing.
Yeah,
And
okay.
he's just very menacing at all times because he's just got a perpetual grin.
Cool. This sounds great.
Yeah.
I've got 4 things on my to watch list now from this show. I like, and we haven't
Okay.
even got near the end yet. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, mine's a very last quick TV one. My favourite sporting moment of the year. I know you're not a sports guy, so this will mean not much to you. However, the whole run of the Lionesses, the English team in
Okay.
the UEFA Women's Cup was amazing. They constantly came up from behind. They were constantly getting behind and then just clawing it back. Amazing grit and determination. And then they won the tournament in the end in amazing fashion. I just absolutely the football was so good. All the way through, all of their games were really good. And honestly, I used to follow football. I don't much anymore. I watch internationals and that's it. However, in my experience, when you watch football, there's 10% of games are great, 80% of games are okay, and 10% are terrible. But this was 10%, top 10% level every game. Every game they played, and they were all so excited because they were constantly going behind and catching up and pulling it out the bag from somewhere just by sheer grit and determination and talent. It was amazing. And football is a very lucky kind of game. The goal mouth is very small. You have to make it's a luck-based game. in many respects. It's not like basketball, for example. The better team almost always win a basketball game, right?
Yeah,
Football, you never know. You never know, which kind of makes it exciting, but also really aggravating sometimes.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a great tournament, and the Lionesses were superb.
Okay,
So yes, that's that bit. That's
okay.
TV for me anyway. That's TV.
I've got a couple of games. Got one I feel like I kind of need to talk about because it
I've
was
got a
just
couple of
the.
games too, but you go first.
Okay, so my first one, and it's it's Elden Ring Night Rain, released this year in I want to say May. But yeah, it was released this year. It's a player versus experience, player versus environment battle royale, essentially.
Okay,
So
so
it's a FromSoft game, so it's Dark Souls, it's Bloodborne, that sort of
right.
thing. But you're playing it on a map that's kind of randomizes itself a bit each time. You have to find loot, get better equipment as there's a closing ring around you, and it forces you into the middle where you'll fight a boss. Now the map will have
Okay,
roaming bosses, so you can also fight them for loot as well. And
okay,
it repeats this twice, and then there's a final boss, and that's your run.
okay. So it's a single player though, so it's always
No,
the A. Oh,
it's
you're
up
fighting
to three
someone.
players,
Okay, right. Okay.
but you're all working on one team. That's why it's player
Oh,
versus
you're
environment. It's just PVE, not
okay.
PvP.
Yeah, I like PVEs. They're
Mm,
really less tense than PvP, right?
yeah.
So yeah.
Uh, the reason I bring this up is one, it's a really good game. I do highly recommend it. It's very fun. Two, I recently there was the Steam recap, and I had played this 28% of my total playtime on Steam. It's
Yeah.
like, huh, I didn't realize how much I'd been doing that.
So it's a PC game.
It's
Uh,
PC and it's on consoles. I don't think
okay.
it's on Switch or Switch 2 yet, but
Right.
yeah, it is there.
It sounds
Uh,
kind of cool. So you're put with two randoms, or you can play
or
with
you can
friends, which
play with friends, yes.
and you're
But
just fighting something together, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
you
it's
just
like sword
slowly
and sorcery kind of environment, right?
yeah, it's Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So if you played Elden Ring, play similarly to that, except instead of a in base Elden Ring you get a mount. In this game, you can just kind of run really fast. But yeah, the gameplay is functionally the same, except instead of just being a character you fully made up from the ground up, you're one of I think it's now nine what's called Nightfarers, who all have different abilities. So my personal one is the guy who has basically an explosively powered spike on his wrist that you can either use as a grapple or you can just punch people with it and it explodes.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Okay, that's I might watch some gameplay of that. That sounds like it might be my cup
Yeah,
of
it's
tea.
fun. I
I
think
haven't
you'd
really.
prefer that over like actual Elden Ring or Dark Souls because
Okay. I
it's
have
like
got
you play
Dark
through like
Souls. I
half an
bought
hour.
it ages ago and I just never played it. So I'm gonna give that
Yeah.
a try sometime. Cool. I got some video games as I mentioned. Mine are kind of closely associated, so but I'll talk about one at a time. Dune Awakening.
Hmm.
I really like this game. It's one of these vast MMOs. You basically land on Dune. You've got to for having a tiny little metal shiv, no steel suit or armor or anything. You got to kind of work your way up to figuring out how to get water, building a base, then building better stuff. Basically, you build up to an ornithopter, and in fact, you can build up to a massive ornithopter that can carry things, a carrier,
Mm.
and stuff like that. And you can go in different areas, and some areas are PvE and some are PvP. Didn't like the PvP bits. I
Mm.
mostly stuck to the PvE, but the actual mission, construction, and the progress is really good. Unfortunately, got to the end. There was nothing really to do once you've bested the game and you've built a really good base. There's not much to
Yeah.
do. So I stopped at that point. However, I understand that they've brought out or they are bringing out what they call a chapter three. I did the chapter two stuff. Where and they're stressing they got way more to do that suits PvE,
Mm.
and there's way more replayability of end game replay. The problem is there's not much going on in the end game. Once you've bested everything, got loads of money, there's nothing to do. So it's kind of, but the actual environment's really good. It's janky. It is janky it's an MMO, so it can be jerky. Sometimes it's really aggravating when you've built up this really good stuff and you've been mining for 2 hours and you're going back to your base. You get kicked off the server and you turn back up on the server and a worm's eating your truck with all the stuff. So you've lost the truck, which takes a lot of resource, and B, you've lost 2 hours of mining stuff, and it's really aggravating. Sometimes your truck falls off a cliff and gets stuck. You can't get it out. You can't get out of it. You just have to quit. And things like that. However, I decided, I'm not going to play this anymore. But I did know that they were talking about porting it to a console, which I thought would be kind of awesome because it does look really nice when it's not being janky. It looks brilliant. So, and I've got a really big telly, and if it runs well on a PS5, it might be kind of awesome just to start again. It might be, right? So I want to see how it goes. However, I got a good 150 hours out of that before I got bored, which is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. And I think it's constantly on sale as well, but I could be wrong about that. So big recommend. If you got to have a decent PC though. I mean, I've got a reasonably decent PC and it was struggling.
Big sort of crafting survival games like that do tend to be fairly chunky because it's just got to manage everything.
And because of that, if they do a good console port, that might be the best way to play it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's June. You want big vistas, right? You want a big screen. You don't, it's that kind of thing. The actual, the way they've done the lore is absolutely brilliant. They have done a perfect job. I know quite a lot of Dune deep lore that never talked about. They were talking about it. They got it right. They got it right. The history of the frame, all sorts. It was all there in the missions. You could hear this, and you could think if you didn't know, this is cool. They're just making it up. No, they've gone back to original source and they've done it properly. So that is really cool. Dune's a great universe, isn't it? You know, not the extended stuff. That's crap. But the original Frank Herbert stuff is really good. So I really liked it, and I will be replaying it. But what I'm going to do is read up about this thing, and I might just wait until it's on console and see if the console version is good. If not, I'll just go back to it on the PC and put up with the jankiness. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. Anyway, back to you.
Well, my last video game thing, and actually my last thing total, is Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter game released this year. It's been getting consistent updates, including a very fun crossover with Final Fantasy XIV, which was insane. Monster Hunter is like normally it's like you beat up a monster. There was a crossover in one of the previous games with Final Fantasy where they just ported one of the monsters over, a behemoth. So it's kind of like how best to explain this is just basically a bear with the proportions of a gorilla and horns.
Right.
But yeah, it makes sense within the context of Monster Hunter because there's a lot of stuff like that. For this crossover, they introduced Omega, which is a robot. So you're having to fight this giant robot crab that's throwing Final Fantasy spells at you, including like the Omega Knuckle, which is it spawns a giant fist above it and throws that as a punch at you.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Very fun game. Highly endorse it. There's not much story wise to go for it because it's Monster Hunter. The loop is purely gameplay.
Yeah.
But it's very fun. Highly encourage people to
I've got a weird relationship with Monster Wars. I've tried it and I kind of liked it, and it feels like it's exactly in my wheelhouse. But for some reason, I didn't engage and I just put it down again, and I don't know why that is. Maybe I might try it again. But yeah, it's a cool game. There's all this. Because you have to go eat stuff, make
you got to
food
prepare
and craft and stuff, right?
It's like, okay, so you might have to fight a monster. That monster might be weak to, let's say, fire.
Yeah.
But there's another monster that's way easier to beat that if you kill it and make weapons out of it, gets you fire weapons. So you go hunt that a few times to get that done. So you come back with the fire weapons. Then you get to choose your meal and
Yeah, a lot of its dynamics remind me a bit of the Far Cry series, which I really like as well. So, I don't understand why I didn't really dig this game as I should have. Right? There's some games that I don't understand why I never engage with because they sound right up my street. Like Assassin's Creed. Never played an Assassin's Creed game. Played a bit and just put it down after an hour. Right? And I don't know why that is. I don't understand myself sometimes. But I kind of get obsessed. You know me. I kind of get obsessed with games.
Yeah,
If I like it, I just play it and play it and play it until I've like chewed all the sugar out of the gum completely, right? Which I did with Dune Awakenings. But that was right. I still got a massive amount of gameplay out of it. Enjoyed it greatly. Which leads me to my last one too. Another game by the same Funcom, the guys that made Dune Awakenings. Basically, I kept hearing, Dune Awakenings borrows a lot from this game with its dynamics. And I thought, well, you know what, that's worth a try. And I even had it for free. It was one of those PS Plus. This is a console for me. It was one of those PS Plus games they were giving away for free every month. And I just happened to that month say, add it to my library. So I had it for free. So why not? And I, again, got almost 100 hours out of it, I reckon. And there was no reason for me to put it down other than I'm spending way too much time playing video games. I'm going to stop for a bit. And I have stopped for a bit. But I might restart next year, to be honest. Conan Exiles is where I was going with this. And in fact, it does have very similar dynamics to Dune Awakenings. There are like sandstorms in Dune Awakenings. There's sandstorms in Conan Exiles, where you have to hide or you die. But Conan Exiles is a way lot of fun, and it is much richer than Dune Awakenings, and Dune Awakenings is massively rich. But Conan Exiles has been going for years, and they've developed like really, really long like tech trees to sort of develop into. Really long. But I've had a lot of fun. I've ridden around deserts on a rhino and I've enslaved these AIs, so they're my little minions, and they follow me around and help me fight and stuff like that. Really enjoyed it. I just stopped one day, and I've got a feel. And the thing is, it's either a PVE or it's PvP. You choose at the server level what you want to play the game. What one you're going to log into. And I'm finding that the one I was in, I never really encountered anyone else. Ever. Because I was a PvE server, they can't hurt me anyway. We can only work together if we were to interact in any way. Whereas if you're on a PvP server, you can go back, log in the next session and find your stuff's all been raided and there's a troop waiting for it to kill you, right? Which is really aggravating. So I'm more of a PvE guy. But I really enjoyed that game. If you can get it cheap, definitely recommend. It's a lot of fun. The dynamics seem, though it's an MMO and therefore it could be subject to the jankiness of Dune Awakening same way. It didn't. I think it's more mature, and because it's been around so long, you often got the server to yourself. So there's no real interaction with anyone. So you're just dealing with bots and, animals and hostile tribesmen and things like that. It's a good fun game. Conan's in it. You aren't Conan. You can go and find him in a bar, apparently. But
I think that's the most Conan place I'd expect him. Either that or climbing up something.
Or killing some massive monster. It's a fun world. I quite enjoyed it. I didn't stop because I'd run out of things to do. I stopped because I was just spending too much time on it, and the game loop was kind of the same over and over. Go mine this to make these tools, to do this, things like that. But I had a massive base doing all sorts of stuff. So I might even be able to log in and it still will be there because I left loads of food. But I haven't been on it for like 3 months. But I left loads of food for me animals and people. So it might all still be running, as far as I know. I just don't know because I'm gone back. And I didn't really care because if it has gone, I'll just start again. And it's fine. But that one I did play on the PS5. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know what the PC version's like. That might be jankier. Which is encouraging me to think that the PS5, the console version of Dune, might be much better as an experience. I don't know. Yeah. But yes, so that's me. Any final things for the year?
No, not really.
All right, we've gone through the lot. I guess then it's time to wish all our listeners happy Christmas, happy holidays. Have a good holiday. Have some time off if you can, and try and unwind. And let's hope 2026 ain't the shit show. The first 5 years have been of this decade, right? But we'll see. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. So bye from me.
Bye.